What's up, everyone? DKRACK here, about to react to another video for you guys. And this says The Real Chuck E. Cheese. It's a creepypasta. I've seen some people here and there wanting me to check it out. So that's what we're going to do now, guys. Like always, I'll have a link to the original video down below. Let's go ahead and check it out. Creepy ass kid laughing. Chuck E. Cheese always gave me the creeps as a kid.
Have you ever thought there was something the creators of Chuck E. Cheese were hiding from us all? Or have you ever found something to be off about the place?
Yes!
Even the creepy robotic mascots that danced on stage. I didn't until I found out the truth about
I wonder if Five Nights at Freddy's was based off Chuck E. Cheese. It all began on the first time
I had ever visited the place. I was around the age of 5 or 6, so I of course was pretty ecstatic to go. Seeing all those commercials of kids eating pizza and running around without a care in the world, and the arcade games, and the play structure, made me almost get down on my hands and knees to plead and beg my mom to take me. After finally getting her to break, she
creepy ass mouse.
I was the happiest kid in the world. My mom drove me over just a few hours before evening, so maybe around 4:30 or so. I almost knocked over the woman at the door who gave you the little stamp on your hand, and running ahead of my mom and burst through those doors like a maniac child. Eventually, I was stamped and literally screeching as I ran around to all the games and play sets. After a bit, I stumbled on over to a game, whack-a-mole, with sharks. Right by that staff-only. One shark-whacking minute later, I'd won the game, and before I could squeal in success and collect my tickets, my ears caught the sound of something very strange going on near the staff-only room. I could hear someone say, "Test number 15 on mutated rat results in angered behavior, such as throwing desk and scientist at the wall."
What?
I then began to wonder what in the world they could be talking about. Maybe they were making a new game. Being so young, I had no idea at all what was actually going on in there. So being curious and feeling a bit interested, I pressed myself against the door and listened in as carefully as a 6-year-old could. I could hear them snapping at each other. Things like, "What are we going to do with the beast? Get it away from me!"
The beast?
A mumbled shout poured over whoever was in there, and replied with a louder, "We can't just kill that thing!" The talking stopped.
Fuck!
I blinked for a second and pressed myself closer on the door. I realized that this was a very bad mistake as the door opened from my weight against it. I slipped in, going from leaning on the door to falling face flat on the ground of the staff room. Immediately, footsteps trampled over to me, hands grabbed at my arms. I was up like a light in a few seconds.
They kidnapped the kid?
And still, I don't know what the hell they did to do that. I woke up slowly, my eyes feeling heavy and my body feeling weak in some kind of interrogation. A tall man with a serious expression, wearing the cleanest white lab coat I'd ever seen, began walking towards me out of the blue. Like he knew I'd be awake, like he knew I was awake. His voice was deep, and it was scratchy from what I could tell.
Oh!
He began to speak. You know, don't you?
You know?
No, he said. I was a 6-year-old, half knocked out at a Chuck E. Cheese, so I didn't know what they expected from me. I babbled for a second, letting my tongue function correctly. "What?" I replied dumbly, blinking lazily. He grabbed my arm, making the static feeling intensify somehow. He pulled me a bit, making me whine, though I quickly shut my toddler trap when a loud banging on the door echoed throughout the room. Naturally, me being so young and clueless, I screamed, thrashing around. The man let go of me and snapped at me to shut my mouth. Forgetting about almost everything, I thrashed around some more, Slipping out of my chair, I kicked my legs going into the corner of the room. I screamed again, banging my foot against something, making a loud metal clang against my foot. I twisted around and whined down at an air vent. I kicked it again out of scared, hot anger. With another loud scream and clang, the metal front door popped off. Again letting out a shriek when I heard the man stomping towards me. Out of the noise of clawing metal and banging, I scooted inside, spitting at him. I was scared half to death. I mean, what was I doing here?
Who the fuck is that guy?
There was my mom. He swiped at me for a second, but quickly pulled his hand back. There was another loud bang, and the man stepped back. Using my tiny little hands, I grabbed the air vent's door and pulled it back, pressing it on. Just in time, a piercing hiss was followed by a shout from the stranger, and the loudest bang on the door. I clawed back, scooting back into the vent. I had to leave.
Hell no!
Even being so young, I knew that I was in trouble. I hastily turned around with a bit of struggle, slowly crawling down the vent. A loud manly scream echoed through the vent, being followed by more. They were in unison with the sound of cracking, tearing, which I now know was flesh and bone from the stranger. I got out as fast as I could. A small light was around the corner after a few minutes, and I stomped on it. The vent easily popped open. They really weren't paying attention to how tightly they were screwed on, were they? My feet stumbled as I climbed out. I was soon trampling to where I saw my mom last. She was still there with a worried expression on her face. I ran up to her, hugged her tight, my eyes now glazed with wet, hot tears. I wanted to go home. I just wanted to go home. I want to go home, I whined and complained.
Ugh.
My mom gave me a strange look, but put a finger on my cheek. You must be tired, sweetheart, she cooed, picking me up. I clenched my small fist, holding tightly onto her shirt. We walked out of the building, me being oh so lovingly carried to the car. A distant whir of sirens became louder and louder, and police cars pulled into the large parking lot and skidded to a halt in front of the once amazing and fun Chuck E. Cheese. My mother almost ran into the car and quickly buckled me into the car seat. A couple hours later, home and safe that night, I walked out of my room to get some water before I went to bed.
What the hell happened?
A habit of trying to procrastinate so I didn't have to sleep. And my mother was watching the news. The reporter talking about some kind of mutated rat coming out of Chuck E. Cheese and disappearing down the alleyway. So what happened to the real Chuck E. Cheese? God only knows. But I will never, and I repeat, never go into any damn Chuck E. Cheese for as long as I live. And I know never to spy on the staff.
Yo! That's some messed up shit. Well, alright guys, that was the real Chuck E. Cheese creepypasta. I'm currently 23 years old, and I don't think I've been to Chuck E. Cheese probably last since I was like maybe 13 or 14. And it wasn't even for me. I went there for a birthday party for a family member, so I just kind of showed up there. Yeah, it's alright to play games and crap, but it's not really for a teenager. It's more kind of for littler kids. But yeah, I have a 3 and a 2-year-old right now, Andy and Ian, my boys, and I don't know if I'll ever take them to Chuck E. Cheese after frickin' watching this video. Like, the kid wanted to go to Chuck E. Cheese so bad, so he goes there, and then there's a room that says staff only on it, and he hears them talking about some frickin' mutated rat, and then all of a sudden the kid escapes through like some frickin' vent, and then the police show up and crap. They say some mutated rat escaped Chuck E. Cheese. This is some fucked up video, and the music and crap in the background definitely didn't help. Jeez. Alright guys, that was a real Chuck E. Cheese. If you enjoyed this video and you want more scary videos like this, make sure and smack the like button and subscribe if you're new. Also, make sure and follow me on Twitter. I'll have a link to my Twitter down below in the description, and if you have another video you want me to react to, comment down below. Maybe I'll check it out. But until next time, guys, Peace.